Drizzle some of this oil right over the top of the soup. Oh my God. Hey, it's Rick Orlando for another episode of Feel Goods Kitchen. We're going to be cooking with the greatest local stuff, making some fabulous Christmas food. So Christmas dinner is usually a roast, something big, a ham, a lamb, a turkey, a roast beef. But I like to start out with a delicious soup. And you want to make your soup a little special. So now from Feel Goods, we have a beautiful bumper crop of local Jerusalem artichokes, otherwise known as sunchokes. And we're going to show you how to make a delicious sunchoke soup. Doesn't take a lot of time. Let's get going on it right now, okay? So sunchokes are related to sunflowers. They grow under the ground. They've got a really nutty flavor. You can eat them raw, kind of like water chestnuts, but I also really like them cooked, really tender and pureed. And in this soup, mixed with these amazing German butterball potatoes, it's going to be the silkiest, sexiest, most delicious soup. So look, you have to peel them, and they're a little bit of a pain in the neck. So the only real work and labor you're going to be dealing with is peeling the little sunchokes. Imagine if you got these on Chopped and you had 15 minutes and you had to peel these guys. I got water chestnuts on one of my episodes, which are similar, and I had to peel them. So I'm using this little paring knife. I find it a little bit easier, but just so that I don't put you to sleep, because I don't want to really put you to sleep here, I peeled a whole bunch already, because I'm that way. But look, you peel them, you slice them again, kind of like you would slice a water chestnut so they cook evenly, okay? So let's get this started. I've got a pot right here, and we're going to start out with some beautiful butter. Look at this. We've got this baker's butter here. It's so amazing from Feel Good. Listen, if you're going to buy butter, buy good butter. We have two amazing butter from Feel Goods, and I'm in love with both of them. So I have some in here. I keep mine at room temperature, ready to go. I'm going to put a nice, what they say, knob of butter in the pot. And push it down in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a little bit of diced onion. And we want to get the onion to get a little bit sweated, a little bit sweet. And with that, we're going to add a couple of cloves of garlic in a minute. But first, let me give this a stir, get this butter going. So one of my tips I teach people when they cook, which is very important, is to season as you go. A little pinch of salt with each layer, as opposed to putting salt on at the end so that your food doesn't taste salty first. It tastes savory from the bottom up. So while my onions are sweating, take 2-finger pinch of salt. Look at that, just a little bit. And it's getting my onions, to make a little beautiful sizzling sound and get going. Once those onions start to get a little bit of, it already smells really good in here. The butter's melted. I'm going to take 2 cloves of garlic, again from Feel Goods, beautiful local garlic. Little press. I'm going to put them in just like this because we're going to puree them later, but I want them nice and big and nutty, okay? Oh my God, if you can smell how good this house smells, what is it about onions that makes the world smell so good? Okay, so now we're going to add some fun before we add our sunchokes. We want to add a little bit of flavor. So you know I have my Flavor Maker spices, which you can also get on Feel Goods. This is called Kesh. This is a Moroccan seasoning. It's got turmeric, cinnamon, cumin, little coriander, caraway, all kinds of good stuff. I'm going to put a little bit of this here right onto my onions. I don't want to make this a Moroccan dish, but I want to have a little bit of that beautiful warm spices going with it. So when you stir that in, now the house smells bewitched. Oh my God, so good. So I'm going to take this here. This is about 1.5 pounds of sunchoke. Putting them right in the pot. Beautiful, right? Just letting them cook. And then I want to grab a little white wine. And I'm just like simple white wine. It's like Pinot Grigio. I don't need anything too fancy. But I'm adding a little bit of white wine to the soup. Now, people say, oh, you put wine in your belly and wine in the soup. Why do we add wine to food? Let me explain it to you. Wine adds acidity. This is a very rich and creamy soup. The wine's going to give it just a little tartness, a little tanginess, a depth of flavor, adding another layer of flavor. So look, here we are. We've got these guys going. Now, once this comes to a rolling boil, which it is, we're going to add our potatoes. So these are a real special treat. You can get these from Feel Goods. These are German butterball potatoes, locally grown. Look at the color of those. They don't need butter because they're butter balls. They're so rich and delicious. I'm going to cut them about the same thickness, about 1/3 of an inch that I did the sunchoke. So what the potatoes are going to do is going to help add a silky texture, and they're going to add a little bit of neutral flavor to our sunchokes. Let's move these out of the way. Okay. Quick peel. Look at that. Those are great potatoes. You know, there's a great potato. When you can get a great potato, it's a special treat, and I'm a big fan. And you know what? Our region, the Hudson Valley, and all the way up to the Canadian border, we have great potatoes. Let's add this last potato. Okay. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt again, and now we're gonna add our liquid. Okay. Let's get this going. Liquid we're going to use is vegetable stock. Now, obviously you can make your own, or you can buy something somewhere else, but if you're ordering from Field Goods, Joe's Kitchen, man. Joe makes delicious roasted vegetable stock. It's not salted. It's perfect. So we're going to add a couple of heaping cups of this. That looks like about enough. Okay. And we're going to let this come up to a boil. Let it boil for a while, then I'm going to show you how we're going to finish the soup. But while we do that, I'm going to put this on the stove behind me, okay? But I do need a towel because it's a wee bit hot. This is going to be cooking behind us. I got a burner going, and I'll grab a pan here because we're going to make a really lovely garnish for this soup. You want to dress your soup up for Christmas? Again, special meal. Boom, right there. I'm going to get a nice hot pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some really pan-roasted, toasty shiitakes. I have shiitake mushrooms right here, again, from Field Goods. So we're going to make roasty, toasty shiitakes for our garnish. And how we're going to do this is really fun. So I got a nice pan here. We're going to get it good and hot. I'm going to add a fair amount of extra virgin olive oil because we're actually going to be pan frying these, not necessarily just sauteing them. I want to get them crispy around the edges. So I remove the stems from the shiitakes. They're really stringy and not really edible, but they're great in stock. So if you're planning on making other soups or Asian soups, save your shiitake stems. I throw mine in the freezer, and you get double usage out of them because they do give flavor. So I'm cutting my shiitakes, again, about a little more than 1/4 inch strips. I don't want them too thin, and I don't want to overcrowd the pan because we want to get them nice and kind of crisp. So watch, I'm putting them right in. The oil is nice and hot. Another reason why I use a lot of oil is because we're going to use some of this oil on top of our soup. All right, so my shiitakes are starting to get a little golden. At this point, I'm going to hit them with some salt and some black pepper. And I want to get them nice and toasty roasty. So I'm going to get them nice and colorful and get them a little bit crispy. You can even finish these in the oven if you want to. But these are a gorgeous garnish for a sunchoke soup. Earth tones, beautiful, right? See how they're getting brown around the edges? Don't be afraid. You want to get them crispy. You want these to taste like little cracklings almost, like chicken skin, but they're mushrooms. All right. I'm going to turn this down and let them crisp a little bit more, and we're going to show you how we're going to finish this amazing sunchoke soup with all this great stuff from Field Goods. The garlic we use, the onions, the shiitakes, the sunchokes, the potatoes, the spices. So this is the soup after about 40 minutes, and you can see everything is tender and delicious. Now you can just eat it like this, but we want to make it luxurious. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our fancy stick blender, and we're going to blend this all up. We're going to make a nice puree. And the potatoes are going to help to thicken it. Put on a little angle. My wife has got her goggles on. She's afraid I'm going to whack her with a flying sunchoke piece, but that's what we do. Look at that. Look at that. You have your goggles on, Lizzie? Nice and smooth. Oh my God, look at that texture. Now, I'm going to take a little taste. A wee pinch of salt. Now we're going to add some creaminess. Now, you can add heavy cream if you want. I'm going to add a little oat milk, which also has a little sweetness and creaminess to this, just a bit. Just a little bit of oat milk, and this is also from Field Goods. Fabulous, right? Gonna give it a little depth of flavor, a little texture. You can bring it back up and boil it a little bit if you want, or you can go like so. All right, so this is sunchoke soup. It took us about 5 minutes to assemble. Let me show you how beautiful this is. I put my bowl right here. I have a ladle right behind me. You want a nice fancy soup. Smooth and silky Jerusalem artichoke and potato soup. And I'll show you how we're gonna do our garnish. Look at that. Oh my God. Now look, these are my shiitakes and they've been toasting, so they're a little crispy around the edges. I'm gonna take a few of these guys, just in the center, just for a little meatiness. And then when you cook the shiitakes in olive oil, the olive oil picks up some of that shiitake flavor. So I'm gonna drizzle some of this oil right over the top of the soup. Oh my God. Give it a little inhale right here. Let me move this pot. Take the black pepper, hit it right here. So that was it. Sunchoke and potato soup with shiitake mushrooms. 5 to 7 minutes to put together, 30 to 40 minutes to cook, 5 minutes to puree. Your garnish is simple. Isn't that an elegant soup? I'm Rick Orlando. I want you to support Feel Goods because I do. All these amazing products are available for your Christmas dinner or anytime, and they deliver either to your home or to a pickup spot near you in the Hudson Valley, in the Capital Region, all the way down the Hudson River. So this is Feel Good Kitchen. I'm Rick Orlando. Thank you, Radio Woodstock, for letting me cook on your Facebook Live.